I think it's a pretty safe bet to say that the Justice League movie from 2017 was just straight up not a good movie, as it just went through production hell and with the reshoots and Joss Whedon taking over. It just overall was a mess of a film that was indicative of the incompetent nature of the executives on how not to build an interconnected extended universe, through Warner Brothers. And I think that the post credit scene, and I like both versions, whether it's like the Joss Whedon cut or Zack Snyder's Justice League, was clearly pointing towards some sort of team up within the villains of the DC universe, like a sort of Legion of Doom crossover event that would like eventually fight the Justice League. And I think that idea alone would be a really cool premise for a future Justice League movie, whether it's like a continuation or if it's in James Gunn's like reboot. I think either way, that just alone would be a really cool idea for a movie. They could take some elements from the Justice League Doom film, which was inspired by the Tower of Babel storyline, where like Batman's plans on how to incapacitate each member of the Justice League was used against the League themselves. And I think it was just a really cool premise for the movie. And I think that this new universe going forward, since I'm assuming its main goal is to just further establish new characters and really cement what these characters are actually supposed to be. I think that having like the rogues gallery in each film, like throughout, like they get like you say like a Superman movie, like you get like the first and second Superman film written by James Gunn or whoever, that really cements the rivalry and the ideology of like Lex Luthor and Superman. And then you can have like other characters in their movies. Like, say you have like a Wonder Woman film with like Cersei, and then like let's say like you have a project with Batman and the Joker. You have the Green Lantern side with Sinestro. You have all these villains from these different movies that can come together, and then the inevitable team up of trying to take down the league. And even though the Justice League movie was just a straight up critical and commercial flop, I think the idea of a sequel to that would have been pretty cool, because like they had a pretty decent lineup potential. You already had Deathstroke and Lex Luthor. I mean, I might not have been the biggest fan of Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, but the idea of just having him on the team would have been really cool. And then you had Black Manta in the Aquaman film, and he had that post credit scene where he just like kind of throws like a knife at Arthur Curry's head, indicating that he's like out for revenge. And then you also had like different, I guess Aquaman type characters like Ocean Master, and let's just like in an alternate reality where the Wonder Woman 1984 movie wasn't half bad, and like Cheetah was actually a decent character, you could have had her in the team as well. I personally wouldn't want Jared Leto's Joker in there, but I guess this is just assuming that like just the idea of a good roster, like assuming that each of these roles were portrayed by like really decent acting and weren't really fumbled in any way. I mean, heck, you probably could have had Black Adam in there at some capacity, considering he was Dwayne The Rock Johnson so hellbent on trying to get a crossover between him and Superman. I think that'd be one of the only few ideas that would actually make sense. Because I mean, if it was just a one-on-one between Superman and Black Adam, I don't know if that would go on for very long. But if you have Black Adam with like a team of supervillains trying to go up against the League and Superman's there, you could have that Superman, Shazam, Black Adam crossover akin to like that one animated short, and it'd be a really cool experience for both audiences and like hardcore fans to just see like certain aspects of comic book stories come to life, and you can go like really supernatural with like certain villains that you want to incorporate. And I think it would just make a really cool idea for a film. But it probably wouldn't, like if they were to adapt this at some point, it probably wouldn't be like the first Justice League movie. As like I said before, it's more about establishing the foundation and like the core tone and elements of like the universe. I guess we'll find out how that will be implemented throughout in the next couple of days for the time of this recording. I mean, like I said, James Gunn said this month, revealing the first few projects in the slate, but it's like what, January like 29th, like dude's gonna do like January 31st like 11:59 p.m. like it's a college assignment or something. But I can't wait to see what it is. I just hope that the future of these films just really brings out a positive light for the DC universe amongst fans and audiences.